died. We're gonna continue from here. So we're gonna still be in the focus mode, and we are going to go from there. Sad. All right, let's go. And I had something nice going on. So let's bring that to the table as well. All right, sorry about the problem. My PC shut down. Should be good now. Also want to check one little thing. Zishan Elia, walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing, Zishan? Like that. किधर चले गए थे आप यार? I tried to turn on my fan और मेरे PC का इंतकाल हो गया था, तो I had to restart my PC. ऐसा हो गया मेरे साथ. Okay, awesome. I think this is good. Interesting. I could also connect my Discord to restream as well. Interesting. Oh, wait a second. I needed to copy drop to this one. There we go. That should work. Done. All right. It should be working now. Good. Awesome. हम focus mode दोबारा से restart करेंगे because I have not focused at all. So let's restart the focus. चले, good है. I should also sit down maybe. Been standing for too long. All right. Just one thing I want to mention. Chat के अंदर there will be no tolerance for any sort of misbehavior. चाहे आप किसी के साथ भी कर रहे हो, तो do avoid that. This is the first time I'm seeing it, so it's okay. Please avoid it from the next time. Okay, let's see. Mm, Ulala, I just saw your message. No, there's no background sound, but there is sound. But we are right now in the focus mode where we are just looking into or just focusing. But if you have a question, please feel free to write in the chat. I usually focus twice a day. That's too much for me. No, can't do it, mate. Hmm. Looks like the drop game is going crazy. Now you did it. Is Angular still big? Yes, especially with the recent changes that have come up. It's after the standalone components and the IV render that they improved in, I think I don't know, V11 or V13. A lot of good features have been introduced, so it's really nice. It's going, yeah, it's going ways. It's going places. All right, let's see. I at least have a hook for the talk, but I also now want to have the story as well. So this is the event I'm speaking at. Some pretty cool speakers. This is me, as you can see that. But I know Manfred is a really good speaker. Steven, who used to work at the Angular team, was pretty cool as well. Is there anyone else from the Angular team? Hmm. Then we also have I think this is the senior track and this is the junior track. Yes. Mm-mm. Interesting. I feel like I haven't seen as many Angular jobs recently, so it's slowly fading away. Usually Angular is really, really preferred within enterprises. Startups usually go for a perceived low learning curve. However, as I said, it's just perceived. It's not real. But a lot of people are confused with the notion that it takes lesser time to learn other frameworks compared to Angular itself. But the reality is things like React, for example, it's a library, it's not a framework. And yes, you can get started with components really fast when it comes to just rendering those, but when as soon as you have to build a real application like do HTTP calls, manage state properly, in a medium scale application, then you have to learn, or even like routing, for example, it becomes tough then, and then you have to learn a lot of things, and then the cumulative time that it takes for someone to build an app is quite the same. um, and then also the problem is each project that you work with React, it's going to be almost unidentical when it comes to when you're working with Angular, since Angular has an ecosystem of things like HTTP package, then you have animations, and you have routers, so a lot of things are built in, so a lot of your projects are going to look exactly the same. It feels like .NET a bit, yeah. Yeah, .NET and Angular is a really good combo. I think Razor and Angular has been quite popular recently as well. It's a nice one. All right, now we've got our hook at least ready. Let's think about the emotional ride. I've not written any front end code in a while, especially Angular. What do you code with usually? Do you code with Svelte or something? 3 years. Wow, that's a long time. Angular Cookbook. Now I'm looking at what was the what was the version of Angular that we used in our first Angular Cookbook. let's look at chapter 13 here. Chapter 13 had PW dark mode and package JSON. It was Angular 12. Okay. Angular 12. Written with Angular v12. Have you worked with NX yet? Rust? Okay. How long have you been working with Rust? Around a year, that's nice. I have one tab open in my office's laptop that is Rust Crash Course 101. It has been there for about 3 months now. I haven't got a chance to look into it. By the way, the clock that you see right here, that's also built with Angular and Firebase. It's one of my projects called Focus Doro. Oh, nice. Thank you for sharing. Is it the official book or Steve contributors? Oh, their contributions from the Rust community. Interesting. The HTML version is available at Stablebook. Okay. Interesting. Thank you for sharing. I've bookmarked it. Hopefully, I'll be able to review it someday. Hopefully this year, or at least the end of this year. Bookmark it. Watch list. Got it. Thank you for sharing. One of the things that I'm writing right now about is having 80 plus projects in my first Angular Cookbook, and the pains about it to upgrade all the 80 plus projects. And now we have just 2, so it's good. It's much better. Alrighty. I feel like it's easy enough to just start coding if you have any experience with C++. I do have experience with C++, but that's just, I mean, that's not production scale experience. It is just, uh, it's just some small projects that I built with C++. Oh, we also have a Google Rust guide. Nice. I'm gonna open these as well. Awesome. Everyone, break time. We have 5 minutes. I think so. My son just woke up, and I think I'm gonna go after we have been live for about 30 minutes. Mm, I think I should go and continue this when he's asleep again, because then I can also record this. So I still made some progress. I was looking into some storytelling techniques when it comes to talks, and I saw one of the things that was obviously having a good hook in the beginning when you're presenting, then also having this sort of emotional ride when it comes to keeping the audience engaged. So I'm right now working on those sort of chunks. Like this is a sad chunk where we talk about something that didn't work well. Then there's the happy news. Then there's a sad chunk, and then sort of going towards there. I also looked into some. I got one, or I was part of the attendees of one talk at Google last. I think it was 3 or 4 months ago in Berlin. That also mentioned about how the story should go. So they're like, you start really small, then you have a peak where you're talking about the most exciting things or happy stuff, and then you drop from there. So I'm also going to look a bit more into it, so I have a good understanding of, all right, what how this relates to my talk, because my talk is about how did we improve from 80 plus projects to just 2 projects, but not just that, because that would be too simple. How do we manage them efficiently as well when it comes to the UI UX for all the projects together, and also the UI UX, the layout and architecture, um, and also some crazy stuff that we are doing with NX Schematics. So for generating a new project, when I generate a new project, it already has the architecture that I want. It has a header, it has the name of the recipe, it also has some things filled in already within the components. 80 plus 2, yes. So now we are managing it with two only. And all the projects now share dependencies as the same. So if I want to change, if I want to upgrade, let's say Angular v16, which it is at right now, but in November Angular is going to release version 17 as well, with a lot of cool features. But if I have to upgrade that, I just need to upgrade to two projects instead of 80. Yes, I'm using NX monorepo, but I'm also using a couple of other techniques as well. So for example, here, can I show it? Can I turn this on? There you go. Oh, I also have a bug in my Pomodoro app that it resets the timer unless I do this. Now it should look nice. But no, this is pulse checker. This is cookbook. So now we are actually what is this at the top? Ask your questions, remove. So this right here now has only two projects, and it contains the start and the final of all the projects, and this makes it much easier for us to manage those. So if I need to just upgrade, I will just upgrade them both. And also the whole process for the users, for the readers, is really good, because all they need to do is they clone the repository, run npm install, and then it runs the post install for both the projects that we have. So everything is set up for them. But then there are also more improvements apart from just the fact that we have two projects. For example, um, when you create a project inside Angular and you give it a path. For example, in here, if I say the if you see the apps here, if I say something like ng generate my app, and my camera is gonna die, so don't worry about that. So when you say my app, excuse me, it actually creates the folder my app right inside the apps folder. If you say chapter 1 my app, something like this, so chapter 1 slash my app, then the folder it creates here is actually called chapter 1 dash my app, because Angular by default changes that, or sorry, it's gonna still be inside chapter 1 slash my app right here, but the name of the application that changes. So essentially, when you go to a particular project.json, here you would actually see that the project name is not ccviewchild, it would be chapter 01 dash ccviewchild, and that makes it a bit difficult. And the reason for that is because now all my readers have to go and type the chapter name including the chapter number every single time, which is not intuitive. So it takes a lot more time. It's not as fun. So what I changed was I also created a schematic myself, that instead of creating a project with ng, I actually create it via my script. My audience doesn't need to do that, but when I create a particular project, it essentially creates it using my generator, which is this one, NG Cookbook recipe generator, and you do it via NXG. And when you do that, yeah, I know Cam died. Now it should be good. So the NX, when you run NXG, I run my own generator, which creates my application with my structure. But then at the end, what it also does is it goes to the package JSON or project JSON, and it also renames the application as well. So essentially, it renames the app from chapter blah 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 to actually just the recipe name. So right now here, if I wanted to run, let's say, whatever recipe, right now I think I was working on the chapter 14. I think there was only one that we have done so far, chapter 14 ng signals intro. So if I run npm run serve, and then I can give it the recipe name. So it's ng signals intro. Instead of here, I would rather than have to do something like chapter 14 dash signals intro. So they don't need to really write all of that, which makes it much nicer experience. So that's also one of the challenges that I will be sharing as well. That's a lot of code for mono repository. Yeah. Do you mean this? That's not a lot of code. It's just like 32 lines of code that generates my project. But yes, inside the generator, then I have a lot of code. So this is the package that I maintain myself, which has both the generator, which generates the code. How many lines of code is this? It's about 200. No, it's about 200 lines of code, which actually runs both the renaming and also generates it with my project structure that I wanted to do. So for example, now when you run the app, automatically opens this, and all of my projects have the exact same UI, which is a header containing the Angular logo, which is this title that is generated when you generate the application. So when you're actually generating, let's say here, it essentially takes the project name and it also adds that to the files as well. I think it does it right here. So when you go to the files, it automatically goes inside the file, and it, for example, in index template, it adds the title right here. It also adds the title in the app component HTML as well, which is right here as well. It also should be adding it inside. No, that's the only two places. So yeah, it's an interesting one. And that's one of the things. Now, one thing that I actually want to do is what I did in the past is when I create a particular page, it generates the layout, as in it automatically has the header and then it has a space for the body. So every recipe has a different body, but the header is exactly the same with different name, of course. However, the problem is that if I want to change anything into the header now of my 80 plus recipes, now I can't. And the reason for that is because I don't have the header as, or this is hard coded into all the projects, which sort of brings the same problem. But it's not now with the Angular itself or upgrading the Angular version. But if I want to change anything in the header, I can't. Or if I want to change anything in my architecture, that's a problem. So what I should have done, and what I will do now, is I will take this header outside of the applications themselves, but I would put them into a library, and then that library would contain this header. So if I need to upgrade anything in the header, which I will when Angular version 17 comes out, then all I need to do is just make one change and then upgrade all, and then it gets upgraded in all the projects. So I'm gonna put my header actually inside the CodewithAhsan package, where I already have one thing here. So I'm gonna create a library here, and that should be that is already included in both the mono repositories. So I just have to upgrade two projects. So it's going to be, yes, it's going to be a component library for both of the mono repositories, which would have in their package JSON the library included, and every app since uses that library, then they would automatically have the header upgraded. So yeah, that's the plan. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, this recipe was pretty nice, and I also have things like for them, if they run the same thing, npm run serve ng signals intro with a both, it runs the start and the final pages both for them. Node just nuked from the orbit. All right, generating browser. And also one more thing that's coming to Angular 17, Angular v17, is the bundler being Vite. So it's also going to be much faster than what this is. I mean, even now, this incremental site generation, so or incremental bundles. So even if the first time it takes more time, the second time is much faster. So this one is the starting state. This one is the ending state. So you're going to notice that here we don't really take care of how many are done, how many there are total. However, here everything works. So if I say something like test, if I hit add, nothing really happens. However, in this one, when you do this, it gets added, this gets removed or emptied. You have the numbers being shown. You can try changing all those as well, changing this as well. You can also filter by active, completed, and all, with pretty decent lines of code, which is amazing for the modern times. So I think if I look at the components, I think the only thing that I have, oh, also I also had a snack bar. So if I mark all of them, yay, congratulations, you have completed it. Yay, 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 yay. Okay. The code itself is, I think, not as as big. So we have app components, the same thing is still. I think the only thing that we added is this. Like it's like less than 72 lines of code and we're good. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I do have some, sorry, what was the question? Wait, so Vite Angular template is worthless now? I would say so, yes. I think yes. I'm not really sure. So Vite, I mean, Angular will install Vite behind the scenes automatically. But yes, right now it uses Webpack behind the scenes, so it's going to move from that to Vite. Fatma, sure, take care. All right, you got me intrigued. Angular has done a lot of things. So SSR hydration, that's coming as well, which is really really good. It's gonna make so many things so much fast. Signals themselves are really performant when it comes to the old way of how we or the regular inputs, but there might be signal based components coming in as well. We also had a huge discussion among the community for years now, where we had things like Angular modules. So in order to create a component, if you did it with React, you could just create a component. But if you did it with Angular, you need to have a module that contains components, that contains services. But now we have things like standalone components, which are just components. They don't need any modules. Each component can be imported to other one. It's really really nice. It reduced a lot of size when it comes to the bundle size as well. So I think they're super cool things. And one thing that I absolutely loved, which was not there in Angular before, was something called a control flow. It What do you call it? It's called the control flow, and that was really really nice. I think I had an app. I can probably show it to you really quickly, which I made in the previous stream, uh, and that was it was really fun to explore because it opens up a lot of possibilities for crazy control flow in Angular, which was not there before. You had to do you had to go around with a bit of things in this case. See if I can make it run, and then we'll go away from the stream. All right, let's see. And this one is actually using a V17 Next, so this already uses Vite, and there we go. Super super. So the main JS is just 34.21. If I go here, this is the app. Hey, what happened to my app? It's the wrong one. I think it's the wrong one. Ng control flow. I think it should be this one. And close. And because I was working on one of them and I switched and said no. I want to fix things. So let's see. Pa pa pa. And we also had in the generate component. Cool. So now this is done. Yeah, so this is what we made with the RxJS, yes. With the angle control flow and OpenAI together. Yeah. Do you want to see some happy programmers? There you go. This guy is super happy. I've never seen someone so happy. How about a Spider-Man? A nerd Spider-Man. Your core sec faults. Yeah. I like this one. It's like some glasses. Wow. Interesting. Maybe this one is okay. I'm not really sure why he's sad though. And this one is sad as well. Why is why is there no happy nerd Spider-Man? A happy nerd Spider-Man is what we want. Let's see if we can get one. What? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Interesting. By the way, this code is also open source, so you can actually get it from my from my GitHub account as well. I think it's in either in CodewithAhsan or in here maybe. CodewithAhsan pulse checker some name blah blah blah. No, it's not here. It's in the CodewithAhsan. A nerd wanted to be Batman. Do you want me to try this out? Let's see. And this project is actually right here, ng control flow. And we did it yesterday or the day before. 4 days ago. Yeah, super interesting. You can just create a file, add your OpenAI key, and it looks nice then. Why does this say ma'am? I have so many questions. Why does this say ma'am right here? Ah, you. Why you said? Ah, okay. Now I get it. I like the kid. All right, awesome. That's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna see you hopefully in the next stream. I'm not sure when it's gonna happen. Most likely tonight. And then it's mom. Yes. All right. I'm gonna see you later. Olala. Take care and thank you so much for joining. It was fun having you. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great, great, great weekend. And I will see you in the next stream. By the way, if you're not following, do follow and take care. Have fun.